is in the… Today once again, for a spiritual person, doors are opening. Every kind of door is opening in the world. This is because of millions of volunteers, full-time people here, everybody striving incessantly. Incessantly striving.
Incessantly.
But there is always a problem. Integrity comes into question because on the path of sadhana, people want to cash in early. Sadhana that is designed and structured to create human liberation. People want to cash in early. The same sadhana which can liberate a human being can very easily be used to dominate and exploit people. The urge in individual human beings, unfortunately, is very strong. Ironing out that aspect from people who live here and among our meditators has been a humongous task. Today we can proudly say, except for a handful, the rest of them don't go about, talk about their experience. This happened to me, that happened to me. They are trying to show the transformation that spiritual processes cause within themselves. That's how it should always remain. I saw God, I saw Shiva doesn't mean anything. I have transformed myself into a better human being, into a higher possibility. That is all that matters. That this integrity and misuse of spiritual process reminds me of Matsyendranath. You might not have heard of him, many of you, but you would have heard of his disciple, more famous disciple than his guru, is Gorakhnath. Well, Gorakhnath is an ardent devotee, fierce and ardent. So Matsyendranath saw this young man is burning, but not burning to give light, burning himself up, and he may burn the world if you allow. So he said, don't be around me. 14 years you go away somewhere and do sadhana. Gorakhnath was heartbroken because his only desire in his life is he wants to be around his guru. But now he's sending him away, not for 1 or 2 days, 14 years. But he cannot disobey Matsyendranath, so he left. After 14 years, he was not doing sadhana, he was doing sadhana, but counting days and minutes when it will be over. That's not sadhana. You're using the clock as sadhana, calendar as sadhana, not your inner energies. He's doing that also, but he's counting days. The day the 14 years were over, he came rushing to Matsyendranath. Matsyendranath was living somewhere south of Mumbai, a little north of Goa. I had the fortune of going to these caves many years ago, and there he was. So he came. A young brahmachari was guarding the cave. Gorakhnath came and he wants to go inside. The brahmachari said, no, he has not asked you to come, so you cannot go in. So he pushed him aside and went inside. Matsyendranath not there. Then he came back in fury and held him by his clothes and asked, where is our guru? He said, I can't tell you. You know, some of our volunteers and brahmacharis. I can't tell you. But the man is burning, 14 years he's been out and he wants to see. Then, because he's not telling him, with all this sadhana he's acquired certain occult capabilities. He used his occult capability, delved into that boy's mind and found out where Matsyendranath is. And he went there. Matsyendranath looked at him and said, "You have misused what I have given you. You must go away for another 14 years." He had to go. He never again got to see his guru in his life, physically. He never saw him again. But he straightened himself out and became the source of one of the most impactful spiritual movements in this subcontinent, which is today known as Gorakhnath East. I know some people know it with negative connotation, some people think it's the greatest thing. It doesn't matter. Over thousands of years these things happen. But the important thing is they were super impactful for a few millennia. And even today, one of theirs is ruling the largest state in our country. So, being with the Guru does not mean you sit around him and hold on to his feet all the time. He needs to walk too. He likes to walk, this one at least. Okay? So, being in physical presence, unfortunately, is misunderstood, and many times it's been the downfall of people being in close proximity, because proximity gives you access to the person and you get involved in the person and the personality and you forget why you have come. In a classic way, this happened to Anandatirtha. You have heard of this, most of you, but all of you know the story. Hey, these girls want to hear the story again, so they don't know. Anandatirtha was in relationship, actually Gautama's elder brother, cousin brother, but elder brother. In this culture, those days, even today in many families, a father or an elder brother are seen as reasonably equal. And if your father or your elder brother says something, you cannot say no to it. So Ananda got the urge to take sannyas from Gautama. He wanted to become his monk. But before that, he thought it is a smart idea and put a condition. He came to Gautama and said, "See, tomorrow I will be initiated. Once I am initiated as your sannyasi, then you are my guru and the disciple. I can't tell you anything. So now as an elder brother, I command you that no matter what you do, one thing is you can't send me away. Physical distance not possible." I also have. But I never promised anybody anything, so I'm okay. Physical distance not possible. Gautama said, "See, I know you are my elder brother, but what you are doing is not a wise thing. It will not work this way. Don't make, you are taking a huge step in your life. Don't make it conditional like this." Ananda said, "No, it doesn't matter. I know what I'm doing. I'm your elder brother. I'm telling you, you can make me do anything, but you can't send me away from you. I will always be around you." Gautama said, "Well, if that's your way, all right." So many things we have heard about Gautama. We know only because of Ananda Tirtha, because he kept on writing down notes, what all he did. The guy of how Gautama comes out of battle and wears his robe, that also he writes down. This is how he wears his robe. Suppose he struggled one day with his robe, he will write that down. He was struggling with his robe. Maybe he is not enlightened. If, uh, if a clothing is stitched in such a certain way, even if you are enlightened, a little struggle will happen. There is a struggle. He stretched it to extreme limits even when he wanted to go and meet Yashodhara, his wife, who he had abandoned 8 years before. And a young infant boy and his wife, he had left in the night like a thief without telling them. So he felt he owes them an apology, and so after 8 years, he wants to go back and tell her something. And he tells Ananda, see, I'm going to meet my wife. But now I am not that man. She's not my wife. But in her mind, I'm still her husband. So there could be some situations, and above all, she's a proud woman. She will not like you coming with me. Ananda said, you promised. Gautama said, okay. So he went there, and Yashodhara saw he has come with one more sannyasi to meet her. She flew into a rage and gave him the works. But he was there witnessing and writing down. But when Gautama attained Mahaparinirvana, when he attained and he left, only those disciples who were considered enlightened were allowed to come in. When he is just about to leave, rather, he is lying down because he was poisoned and he knows he will leave. So he is lying down like that and he wants to say a few things, and he said, only those who will understand what I am speaking, let them come. And they stopped Ananda outside on the steps. So he spoke for a few minutes and then he left. Ananda sat on the steps outside the door and cried bitterly. Why? I was with you all your life. Every step I was there. Why I am left out like this? So the other disciples also felt bad. So before Gautama left, they asked him, why Ananda missed it? We came much later than him. We got what you are saying. How come he didn't get it? Gautama, supposed to be an embodiment of compassion, has cruel words to say. He said, a spoon cannot taste the soup. Spoon is immersed in the soup, but it can never know the taste of the soup. So, being with a guru does not mean just hanging on to him. It means that everything in you is inclined towards the purpose of what he is. Well, this is the last few years of my life, the very last few years of my very being. And these few years, we will ignite a global movement towards raising human consciousness. I also want to settle my debt to Adiyogi. I don't want to die in debt. So I will do a few things for him because he's been my very breath. Nothing would have happened without that. So I have some debts to settle. I will also settle that. consciousness means moving humanity from blind belief systems to a more conscious and responsible existence. This is the only way forward. This is the only way forward. From religion to responsibility, this needs to happen. It needs to happen in this generation because the way individual human beings are getting empowered, nations are getting empowered, overall humanity getting empowered, we can become like cancerous cells for this world. We already are in many ways if we don't get it. A cancerous cell, our own cell turns against us. Right now, the life on this planet has turned against the planet. Not the other lives, only us as human beings. Not because we don't know what to do, because we are not conscious enough, responsible enough. We are eating up our own source of our very existence. We are eating it up in such a way that future generations will have a hard time to exist. So this change needs to happen in the next 15 to 25 years. Otherwise, it will happen with great suffering. It will happen, I'm sure about that. It's just that if you want it to happen without enormous suffering for humanity and for all other life, it's time to do it. See, everybody is talking. Today you see in Europe, America, it's happening. It'll come everywhere. We're talking about something as simple as forest fire. Oh, forest is burning. Go and put it off. Do this, do that. Make airplanes like water tanks and drop it. Do this, do that. We are thinking, oh, our homes may get burned. But what you need to understand is we are wiping out trillions of lives just like that, without whom we cannot exist. We're just burning them up. If 1,000 hectares of forest got burnt, maybe trillions and trillions of organisms are dead, who are the basis of our life. We are not the basis of their life. They are the basis of our life. But unfortunately, this is happening. It's just not the forest fire. We say war, we say development, whatever we say, everything that we are talking about and doing is largely a disastrous process. This can only be corrected if human beings become more conscious and more responsible existence on this planet. This is the only way forward. We need to make this happen. Let's make it happen. And every one of you, wherever you are, in whichever way you can, in every possible way you can, try to make this happen. We will be organizing various processes towards this.
Every culture has used song to celebrate life. The yogic culture has used it to something more, to transform the way we experience life itself. Sounds of Isha is a humble offering in that direction. On this sacred day of Guru Purnima, they will be offering some chants and devotional compositions. This is an opportunity for us to dissolve into the offering, become fully immersed in the music and chants. Please join us in welcoming Sounds of Isha.
Purnima, a night of immense possibility, a sacred opportunity to receive the Guru's grace. Grace is like rain on parched soil. It only nourishes the one who truly longs for it. As Sadhguru reminds us, a Guru is a presence, not a person. To make use of this energy and possibility, all you have to do is become an opening. The question is not whether grace is here tonight. The question is, are you?
जिंदगी जिया मैं यारा, जीत के भी जैसे हारा, जो भी मिला अंदर से मैं आंखों की नमी बताए, धड़कने ये गीत गाए, तू जो मिला आधा था मैं पूरा हुआ। रुत आती रुत चली जाती, रंग अपने दिखलाती, भीतर में सूखा ही रहा। एक बूंद को बरसा, दर हुआ तो तरसा, जैसे बहारा मन हुआ। मेरे मन से खुशबू उठी है, भीतर में कुछ तो खिला है, बरसों से जो ना हुआ वो होने लगा है। बादल में देखो बरसा है, बादल से तू ही चलता है, सूखी जमीन को कैसे तूने बगिया बना लिया। दरम दरम दम दम, दम दरम 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 दम, दम दरम दम, दम दरम दम, दम दरम दम, दम दरम 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 दम, दम दरम 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 दम, दम दरम दम, दम दरम दम, दम दरम दम, दम दरम 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 दम, दम दरम 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 दम, दम दरम दम, दम दरम दम, दम दरम चला भूला मैं भटका ही रहा ढूंढा जो मैंने बाहर रहता वो मेरे अंदर महसूस मुझको हो रहा मेरी सोच से जो परे है अमृत वो तूने दिया है बरसों से जो ना हुआ वो होने लगा है अब और जाना कहाँ है तेरा हाथ थामे चलना है मन की प्यास मेरी चारा मेरी आस भी तू दम दरम 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 दम दरम 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 दम दरम दम दरम
This grace, where does it come from? The yogic tradition refers to that source as Shiva, a living possibility within every human being. Sadhguru says Shiva is not a god up there, but a living presence here. Tonight, on Guru Purnima, may we not only sing of Shiva, may we experience him as a living presence within.
जय सदा शिव जय सदा शिव
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 जय सदा शिव जय सदा शिव जय सदा शिव बोलिए
जय सदा शिव जय सदा शिव जय सदा शिव बोलिए
शिव सदा शिव शिव सदा शिव
शिव सदा शिव शिव सदा शिव
शिव सदा शिव शिव सदा शिव शिव सदा शिव बोलिए
शिव सदा शिव शिव सदा शिव शिव सदा शिव बोलिए
जाने कितने धागों से बरसों बरस लिपटा रहा ख्वाहिशों के सपनों के बंधन में मैं उलझा रहा चाहे कंचन की बनी पर है तो फिर भी बेड़ियां चाहे रेशम की बुनी पर है तो फिर भी डोरियां जितना मैं खुद से दूर था उतना ही मैं उलझा रहा जितना मैं खुद के पास हूँ उतना ही सहज हूँ जय सदा शिव जय सदा शिव जय सदा शिव जय सदा चला रोशनी की खोज में, पर्वतों में ढूंढता मंदिरों की भीड़ में, जल रही थी एक लौ मेरे हृदय के कोने में, हार के जब बैठा मैं तब वो मिला मेरे अंतर में, जिस सत्य को मैं ढूंढता वो सदा मेरे साथ है, मेरे मौन में मेरे श्वास में, वो शिव सदा मेरे पास है, उतना मैं खुद से दूर था, उतना ही मैं उलझा रहा, जितना मैं खुद के पास हूँ उतना ही सहज हुआ। जय सदा शिव जय सदा शिव जय सदा शिव जय सदा।
Shiva, this living presence, so subtle. How do we experience it? As Sadhguru says, devotion is the quickest way. Through the ages, devotees have found many unique ways to connect with Shiva. This next offering is a Tamil song invoking Shiva. Invoking Shiva as the Lord of Dance. Here is an opportunity to immerse yourself in the sounds of devotion.
தூக்கினாள் தெய்வமே தெய்வமே காலை தூக்கி நின்றாடும் தெய்வமே என்னை கை தூக்கினாள் தெய்வமே
I love it when people have stuff for me.
வந்து தேடி இருவர் கண்டறியாத காலை நாடும் தெய்வமே என்னை கை தூக்கியாள் தெய்வமே
Wow.
Shiv is often spoken of as a paradox, a bundle of contradictions, formless yet present in every form, utterly still yet the source of all movement, silent yet the origin of all sound, empty yet containing the whole cosmos. Not a puzzle to be solved, not a philosophy to be understood, but a possibility to be experienced. May this next offering not merely be heard, but become a doorway into the roar that Shiva is, where the paradox of Shiva is no longer something to understand, but a living reality.
ஒன்றில்லை என்றாலும் இருக்கும் வடிவம் அனைத்திலும் வடிவாகி நின்றான். வடிவம் ஒன்றில்லை என்றாலும் இருக்கும் வடிவம் அனைத்திலும் வடிவாகி நின்றான். ஆனந்த கூத்தாடுவானா ஆனந்த கூத்தாடுவானா அவனை அசைவின்றிய கூத்தை பார்த்திருப்பானாம். ஆனந்த கூத்தாடுவானாம் அவனை அசைவின்றிய கூத்தை பார்த்திருப்பானாம். சம்போ மகாதேவ தேவ சிவ சம்போ அடித்து கலைத்து திரும்பி நீ வரும்போது உனக்குள் இருப்பார். சம்போ மகாதேவ தேவ சிவ சம்போ மகாதேவ தேவேஷ சம்போ சம்போ மகாதேவ தேவ சிவ சம்போ மகாதேவ தேவேஷ சம்போ சம்போ மகாதேவ தேவ. கேள்விக்கு பதில் தேடி வந்தால் மனது கேள்வியும் பதிலுமே இல்லாமல் செய்வார். கேள்விக்கு பதில் தேடி வந்தால் மனது கேள்வியும் பதிலுமே இல்லாமல் செய்வார். அன்பினை நீ நாடி வந்தால் அன்பினை நீ நாடி வந்தால் அவனே உனக்குள் உள்ராகி நிற்பான். அன்பினை நீ நாடி வந்தால் அவனே உனக்குள் உள்ராகி நிற்பான். சம்போ மகாதேவ தேவ சிவ சம்போ மகாதேவ தேவேஷ சம்போ சம்போ மகாதேவ தேவ சிவ சம்போ மகாதேவ தேவேஷ சம்போ சம்போ மகாதேவ தேவ சிவ சம்போ மகாதேவ தேவேஷ சம்போ சம்போ மகாதேவ தேவ சிவ சம்போ மகாதேவ தேவேஷ சம்போ
Shambho, 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 Shambho. Shambho, 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 Shambho. Oh, wow.
Shiva, this ultimate stillness, how do we get there? surrounding us. Not the world around us, but the endless chatter within. Our mind, an extraordinary instrument, brilliant, creative, and essential, yet left to itself, becomes restless and impulsive, chasing one more scroll, one more success, one more distraction. Mind, our greatest tool. Mind, our greatest challenge, often within the same 5 minutes. What shall we do with this mind? Sometimes the best thing to do is simply laugh at it. A monkey mind or a miracle of mind? Are you ready?
Yes!
Boom!
Let's boom!
जैसा रंग बदलता आज कुछ है कल कुछ है कहता डुलू ही सुलू कहता माइंड से डिस्टेंस बनाया नेचर इसका जान में पाया फिर जैसे मिरेकल हो गया अज मनवा मेरा मालिक था अब मैं मनवा का मालिक हूँ अगर मैं कर पाया हूँ तो तुम भी करके देखो तुमसे भी होगा mental mind अब तो हुआ miracle of mind come together and let's go
Come together and let's go.
mental mind अब तो हुआ miracle of mind come together and let's go mental mind अब तो हुआ miracle of mind come together and let's go mental mind अब तो हुआ miracle of mind come together and let's go
Let's go!
let's clap everybody
Let's go, everybody.
मोबाइल हाथ में लेके जो मैं कंज्यूम करता मैं ही कंज्यूम देखो होने लगा जैसे कोई अपने पैरों पे ही कुल्हाड़ी मारे ऐसा ही हाल मेरा होने लगा मोबाइल हाथ में लेके जो मैं कंज्यूम करता मैं ही कंज्यूम देखो होने लगा जैसे कोई अपने पैरों पे ही कुल्हाड़ी मारे वैसा ही हाल मेरा होने लगा स्क्रोलिंग के कंपल्शन में इतना इन्वेस्ट किया तो डिप्रेशन सर पे मेरे चढ़ने लगा का खाता खोला उसमें इन्वेस्ट किया फिर देखो मेरा कल है होने लगा सब धीरे धीरे समझा हूँ मैं प्रॉब्लम भी मैं रीजन भी मैं सब मेरा ही है किया डराया सब कुछ है अजॉय भी है मिजरी भी है सिग्मा भी है और इंज भी तुम चाहोगे वैसा मनवा
It's so true.
अरे मेंटल माइंड अब तो हुआ miraculous.
Miraculous. Let's go.
Listen together. Mental mind अब तो हुआ miraculous.
Miraculous. Let's go. Mental mind. Come together and let's go. Mental mind. Come together and let's go. Mental mind. Go.
Come together and let's
Go.
come together and let's
Go.
mental
Mental
mind
mind.
अब तो हुआ miraculous.
Come together and let's go. Mental mind. Come together and let's go. Mental mind. Come together and let's go. Come together and let's go. Let's go. Go.
We try
Wow.
to make our minds still. We try to be open to grace. We try to be devout. When all our efforts fail, all that's left is to bask in the presence of our beloved Guru. This final offering is a celebration of the simple, unfiltered joy of being in the Guru's presence. A joy that words can scarcely capture, but the heart knows intimately. We conclude this musical journey with an outpouring of gratitude for our Guru.
नैन बिछाए राह में मन में उठे पुकार एक झलक गुरु के मिले मिट जाए अंधकार ओ गुरु दर्शनला जायाच ओ सद्गुरु दर्शनला जायाच आनंद पोटात माझ्या अहो आनंद पोटात माझ्या मायना आनंद पोटात माझ्या मायना गुरु दर्शनला जायाच आनंद पोटात माझ्या मायना आनंद पोटात माझ्या मायना आनंद पोटात माझ्या मायना आनंद पोटात माझ्या मायना गेलो वेलगिरी थेट घेतली सद्गुरूंची भेट गेलो वेलगिरी थेट घेतली सद्गुरूंची भेट ह्या डोळ्यांची भूक काही जाईना ह्या डोळ्यांची भूक काही जाईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना दर्शनला जायचं आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना काही येईना नजरेत नजरेत आणि काही येईना रे येईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना रमाईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना गुरु दर्शनला जायाचं निसायाचं आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना रमाईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना रमाईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना नजरबंदीचा हा खेळ खेळ सद्गुरु प्रेमळ नजरबंदीचा हा खेळ खेळ सद्गुरु प्रेमळ खेळ पुरा होईना खेळ पुरा होईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना रमाईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना दर्शनला जायाचं निसायाचं आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना रमाईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना दर्शनला जायाचं निसायाचं दर्शनला जायाचं निसायाचं आनंद पोटात माझ्या 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 माईना रमाईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना रमाईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना रमाईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना रमाईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना सद्गुरूची भेट सद्गुरूची भेट सद्गुरूची भेट सद्गुरूची भेट आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना रमाईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना रमाईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना रमाईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना आनंद पोटात माझ्या माईना
मायना
एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी
साक्षिभूतं
भावातीतं
गीतं त्रिगुणरहितं तद्रूपं नमामि एकं नित्यं साक्षिभूतं अतीतं त्रिगुणरहितं गुरुं तं नमामि अनेकं त्रिगुणरहितं आतंकितं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि एकं नित्यं शिवभूतं अतीतं त्रिगुणरहितं Shamani. Tam namami, Sadgurum tam namami, Sadgurum tam namami, Sadgurum tam namami, Sadgurum tam.
Sadhguru 360 is a unique solo podcast where Sadhguru speaks directly to you, exploring some of life's most pressing and profound subjects in depth. A new episode is released on the Purnima or full moon day of every month. The latest episode is dedicated to Guru Purnima. We will now watch a short excerpt from this episode.
Once you genuinely sit with me, even for a moment, there is no such thing as privacy in your life. I can enter every aspect of your life if you are willing. My life is dedicated and devoted to your growth. If you deny me that and prostrate in front of me, it doesn't mean anything. Only when you experience me as something more than just a person, that I truly become your guru. Until then, I am not. I'm like manure. If you sink your roots into me, something wonderful will happen. Just make this the basis of your life. Anyone who truly longs always has access to this energy. When a heart cries out to know, I'm always there. A certain madness of your heart is needed. The instinct of self-preservation must be set aside. Guru is like a doorway. Pass through it and you find reality.
Make him the basis of my
In the
life.
ultimate sense, I am in the final phase. I can offer you the way that I have found. I am here to guide you so that you don't waste 12 years. But it must be the only thing on your mind, screaming in every cell of your body. What are you ready for?
Asatoma Sagamaya
Is he a man? Is he a god?
Tamasoma
Or is he the devil incarnate? He is
Jyotirgamaya
none of these, but willing to be any or all of them.
Amrita
As needs may be,
Amaya
you are dealing with an empty space.
Shanti
Do not try to understand or
Shanti
negotiate. The only way is to dissolve. A context. A guru is not a curiosity, a deep pool that can drown you into a guileless world of unknown possibilities. Having nurtured a mind that is always looking for the familiar, the clinging to the familiar makes it feel like a drowning, the horror of drowning and the pleasure of diving, or just a context. Guru's will. The Guru came with a stick, not to leave a mark or a wealth, but just a touch innocuous, not knowing him or his worth, but for one who is famished, even a morsel is a feast. The ignition of his touch inflames my very being, free from the many projections of my mind, yes, free from myself, to be enslaved to his will, that renders me utterly still. This stillness has endured through lifetimes three, unhindered by ceaseless activity. My Guru's will, the source of all my skill, shall terminate when his will it cannot fulfill.
In Bharat's culture, the practice of classical art forms has always been rooted in spirituality. These arts are practiced as an offering born of devotion rather than as entertainment. Project Samskriti, an endeavor by students who have grown up learning these arts at Sadguru Gurukulam, is dedicated to nurturing, preserving, and showcasing these timeless arts to the world. They will now present a special performance.
Ooh. Wow.
महादेव शम्भो महेश त्रिनेत्र प्रभो शूलपाणे प्रभो विश्वनाथ महादेव शम्भो महेश त्रिनेत्र शिवाकान्त शान्त स्मरारे पुरारे शिवाकान्त शान्त स्मरारे पुरारे अनन्यो वरेण्यो नमान्यो नगण्य प्रभो शूलपाणे प्रभो विश्वनाथ महादेव शम्भो महेश त्रिनेत्र शिवाकान्त शान्त स्मरारे पुरारे अनन्यो वरेण्यो नमान्यो नगण्य अनन्यो वरेण्यो नमान्यो नगण्य अनन्यो वरेण्यो नमान्यो नगण्यः
युगरतो वा भोगरतो वा संगरतो वा संगविहीनः यस्य ब्रह्मणि रमते चित्तम् यस्य ब्रह्मणि रमते चित्तम् नन्दते नन्दते वा नन्दते 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 वा सत्सङ्गत्वे निस्सङ्गत्वम् निस्सङ्गत्वे निर्मोहत्वे निश्चलतत्त्वम् निर्मोहत्वे निश्चलतत्त्वम् निश्चलतत्त्वे जीवन्मुक्ति निश्चलतत्त्वे जीवन्मुक्ति पुनरपि जननं पुनरपि मरणम् पुनरपि जननी जठरे शयनम् इह संसारे बहुदुस्तारे इह संसारे बहुदुस्तारे कृपया पारे पाहि मुरारे कृपया पारे पाहि मुरारे जान लिया मैं मुझे एक नजर देखा तुझे जान लिया मैंने तुझे தேடி தேடி என்னை பார்த்த பின்பும் உறவு விளங்கவில்லையே தேடி தேடி என்னை பார்த்த பின்பும்
கண்கள் உறங்கவில்லையே காட்சி தந்து என்னை ஆட்சி கொள்ள ஒரு முறை உன்னை கண்டு என்னை நானே கண்டு கொண்டேன் ஒரு முறை உன்னை கண்டேன் என்னை நானே கண்டு கொண்டேன் तेरा मेरा ये कैसा नाता समझ में ना रहा तेरा मेरा ये कैसा नाता समझ में ना रहा आँख ना लगे तेरी आस मेरा तकता रहा तेरा मेरा ये कैसा नाता समझ में ना रहा आँख ना लगे तेरी आस मेरा तकता रहा थाम ली तूने रूह जो मेरी ஒரு முறை உன்னை கண்டே என்னை நானே கண்டு கொண்டே ஒரு முறை உன்னை கண்டே என்னை நானே கண்டு கொண்டே
As you leave,
Anybody has anything to fucking say to me, they know where the fuck I fucking live. Come the fuck down here to tell me.
we request you to exit the premises from the wooden gate.
No, I won't walk away from him. I was telling myself I'd just walk away.
Visitors
No,
and other
he's got something to say to me then. Let him say it. Let him say it. I'm not taking his phone calls. He can come and tell me. He can tell me whatever the fuck he wants. I don't want to have nothing to do with that fucking shit. What a shit bag. What a shit bag. Ricky, don't lose that.
This is a master roller trick that not enough people know. You can cut out any shape you want out of cardboard, line it with paper, and then pack it tight. I mean tight. Fold it over and then use just enough paper to seal it. And keep it thin, bro. I like to add a little top sheet like this for effect. The possibilities with this technique are endless. But don't forget the plummet, bro, especially with big ones.
So guys, check this out. This is an all glass knife. They said the TSA freaked out. They're like, I don't want to go back with it. What's the glass artist's name? Megan something. Dude, man, I want to like make a cooking video. Like chop this up.
There are people who are going to come through your life who are mostly there to receive positive reinforcement from you. So they are not paying attention to whether they are relating with you. Fundamentally, they are there just for you to say, I like you. I think you're a good person. And like, that's not a relationship. That is a one-sided dynamic in which one person is relating and the other person is just there to receive the sun. They're just like sunbathing, right? Their only barometer for relationships is, how do other people feel about me? Am I seen positively? If I am seen positively, then I am okay and the relationship is okay. But remember, that's not a relationship. Relationships have all these ups and downs, all these things that we share our authenticity within. Fundamentally, it's like two individual beings that are sharing a relationship.
Insight is not going to pick your screaming, tantrum nervous system up off the floor. You can know exactly why you're like this. Name the pattern, trace it to childhood, explain it beautifully. Your body does not care, it's having a visceral response. What it needs in that moment isn't understanding, it's something to do. That's what the SAFE method is. 4 steps, exactly what to do, a way to start working with your nervous system so you can move through it instead of getting stuck in it. And then have enough space and capacity to actually apply all that insight to your life.
Om Guru, 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 Om Master, 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 Oh 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 Master, Om Yogananda, 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 Om Guru, 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 Om Guru.
he didn't rinse some of his liquor, it's gonna cloud up like bad iced tea. It's already clouded.
So I'm filtering it now, and I'm gonna put them all back in a fresh jar, and then I'm gonna rinse the chips, put them back in.
I do believe that Tommy has salvaged that liquor. He's pulled those chips off after he rinsed them, put them in a new jar of liquor, and now he has crystal clear spirit.
Alright, Tommy.
Translucent, no floaties in it. He scared me to death when he put those chips in it. First man digger looked over and it was cloudy. Usually you can't get that out.
He did.
He did.
He did. Tommy, you've said that you're along their lines. Just stick to what you know. Tommy, you're the next master distiller.
You know, when people used to say that LSD is an escapist drug.
Yeah.
One thing LSD is dangerous because you can't escape. You got 100 billion neurons. Yeah. And death, my thing about death is escape. I'm running towards this death. You can't turn this over to the doctor. You can't turn it over to the priest. You can't turn it over to the medical profession. Think for yourselves. No government agency or no profession can solve these problems for you. I've got to do it for myself. You've got to do it for yourself. And all the viewers have to do it for themselves. Take charge of it. Plan it. Talk to your friends about it.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the major disasters, one of the many major disasters that emerges in the lives of the adult children of narcissists come in our relationship spaces. The hard truth, the hard reality to accept is that pathologically narcissistic parents are groomers. They groom their children for future abusive relationships. You know, it gets into this question of what is love, right? What is love? And, you know, right? But love is a word that doesn't represent something. So what does a human being experience as love? Well, culturally, we're conditioned to believe that love is what we get within our family space, right? And so our nervous systems, our kind of consciousness is conditioned within our family space as to how to exist within relationships where love is supposed to be present. And so any relationship with a narcissist, right, is one of chronic self-abandonment. That to love a narcissist, to be in an intimate relationship with a narcissist, romantic or parental or whatever, is to be conditioned to experience love as the complete abandonment of self in service of the other person. And so when we're confronted with this in childhood, we don't have the option of saying, yo, this is fucked up, I'm out of here, right? We're trapped with our parents. And so we're conditioned not to set boundaries, not to recognize it as abuse, but to chase the approval, to chase the love, and to kind of sacrifice ourselves at the altar of their disorder. And so it's not uncommon for adult children of narcissists to find narcissism present in all their relationships, not just romantic, but we see the patterns. You know, somebody mentioned it, and I've heard this over and over, and I know it was relevant in my life, repeating themselves at work, repeating themselves in platonic friendships, repeating themselves over and over and over. And it's all because of the way we've been groomed to exist within relationships. It's all the way that our subconscious has been shaped to experience a relationship through the lens of abandoning ourselves. That if we show up, you know, the authentic self, when you have a narcissistic parent, is like a lack of one. When we express from our authentic self, from our authentic experience, the narcissistic parent compulsively swats it down to defend their own reality, to defend their own power, their own control. And so, you know, unfortunately, if we find ourselves in repeated relationships with narcissists, we don't have to understand the narcissist so much as we have to understand ourselves. We don't have to repair the relationship with the narcissist so much as we have to repair the relationship to ourselves. That true recovery from narcissistic abuse in whatever context is about living a life that is authentically ours, that allows us to show up in shared spaces, right? To not surrender ourselves to the belief that that's what a relationship is.
Insane.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the major disasters, one of the many major disasters that emerges in the lives of the adult children of narcissists come in our relationship spaces. The hard truth, the hard reality to accept is that pathologically narcissistic parents are groomers. They groom their children for future abusive relationships. You know, it gets into this question of what is love, right? What is love? Maybe you don't heard me from me. But love is a word that doesn't represent something tangible. And so what does a human being experience as love? Well, culturally, we're conditioned to believe that love is what we get within our family space, right? And so our nervous systems, our kind of consciousness is conditioned within our family space as to how to exist within relationships where love is supposed to be present. And so any relationship with a narcissist, right, is one of chronic self-abandonment. That to love a narcissist, to be in an intimate relationship with a narcissist, whether it's romantic or parental or whatever, is to be conditioned to experience love as the complete abandonment of self in service of the other person. And so when we're confronted with this in childhood, we don't have the option of saying, yo, this is fucked up, I'm out of here, right? We're trapped with our parents. And so we're conditioned not to set boundaries, not to recognize it as abuse, but to chase the approval, to chase the love, and to kind of sacrifice ourself at the altar of their disorder. And so it's not uncommon for adult children of narcissists to find narcissism present in all their relationships, not just romantic, but we see the patterns. Somebody mentioned it for this over and over. I know it was relevant in my life. Repeating themselves at work, repeating themselves in platonic friendships, repeating themselves.
It is not going to pick your screaming, tantrum nervous system up off the floor. You can know nervous system up off the floor. You can know it.
Tops. Made this. Tops.
Is this real or that's gotta be a? That's not AI. Is that AI?
Tops, mate.
Damn, that looks so cool. I used to have that guy.
Take a look at none other than Cobra Khan from the Masters of the Universe toy line. Here's Cobra Khan, one of Skeletor's bad guys, made in 1983, but not released to the toy line until 1984. Brown boots, brown pants, green belt. He also had brown scales with green skin. And he's had the spray action with the water, one of the best features ever. Do you guys remember having the Cobra Khan action figure
Yes.
from the Masters of the Universe toy line?
We have a Fabergé cane. This is a rock crystal guilloche enamel diamond set and a little turquoise set cane handle. There's the Workmaster mark of Heinrich Wigstrom, and it's set in 14 karat gold.
You clench your muscles, you'll actually see and feel there's a muscle popping out. Underneath that muscle is ST6, the jaw cherry point.
If you can build a Lego set, but you can't make yourself.
The most engineered figure in Masters of the Universe, Wave 2. Trapjaw, 1983, Mattel. Skeletor's strongest warrior. Red helmet, articulated jaw, and a robotic arm. Click in a laser, swap in a hook, swap in a claw. The designer was Colin Bailey. Filmation broke their own rule to animate him. Most Filmation characters were designed to be symmetrical, so the animation studio could flip the cells left and right and save money. Trapjaw broke that. Robot arm is only one side. In some cartoon episodes, his cyborg arm switches sides between shots. Mattel basically invented the arm swap warrior right here.
You can't save anyone from themselves. You will lose everything by attempting to play savior. You will never heal the wounded. You cannot repair the damage already done by selfish parents, vicious ex-lovers, child abusers, tyrants, poverty, depression, or simple chemical imbalance. You can't undo psychic wounds, bandage old scars, kiss away ancient bruises. You can't make the pain go away. You can't shut down the voices in other people's heads. You can't make anyone feel special. They will never feel beautiful enough, no matter how beautiful they are to you. They will never feel loved enough, no matter how much you adore them. You will never be able to save the battered from battling back at a world they've grown to hate. They will always find a way to pick up where the bullies have left off. They will in turn become bullies. They will turn you into the enemy. They will always find a new method in which to punish themselves, thereby punishing you. No matter how much you've convinced yourself that you've done absolutely everything in your power to prove your undying devotion, unfaltering commitment, and unending encouragement, you will never be able to save a miserable bastard from themselves. The wounded will always find a way to spread their pain over a vast terrain, like an emotional tsunami that devastates the surrounding terrain, an ever-expanding firewall that will singe everything and everyone in its wake. The longer you love a damaged person, the more it will hurt you. They will mock your generosity, abuse your kindness, expect your forgiveness, try your patience, sap your energy, and eventually your soul. You will not be happy until they will not be happy until you are as miserable as they are. Then their incredible self-loathing will be justified by the perpetuation of a cycle from which there is little recourse. Once you enter their free fall, it will be virtually impossible to turn your back on them. You will be racked with guilt, frustrated by your own impotence, and made furious for ever buying into their shit in the first place. Of course, the more damaged, the more charismatic, the more brilliant, the more intoxicating, the more dangerous to your own mental health. Love is a battlefield, a landmine, a slaughterhouse, a refugee camp, a house, an insane asylum, a prison, a purgatory of repetition, rippling off into infinity, a twisted funhouse mirror that mimics Dante's 9 circles of hell, a place where the lonely souls of the eternally damned dance a wicked dervish steeped in the desperation of those determined to throw themselves deep into the pit of a flaming volcano, seeking a baptism of fire in search of paradise, nirvana, heaven, a return to the garden from which they have and always will be banished. Jonathan Shaw's Narcissa, Our Lady of Ashes, is a heartbreaking tome of diseased lust that oozes a poetry of sweat and sperm, a grotesquely beautiful love song steeped in the perpetual twilight horror of an unbearable trauma bond, an odyssey in which the twin furies of addiction and codependency slap you with a big, whose own insatiable hunger attempts to feast again and again. And in return, it feeds back to the victim turned victimizer a mad love, an overwhelming magic magnet to the darkest forces of our own primordial essence. Narcissa is mandatory reading for anyone who has ever been up over or with to their very core in a fit of possession. Anyone who's been blindsided by love and lust and shackled by passion to a low-life, scum-sucking junkie vampire whose devastating beauty and raw animal magnetism painted them as dark angel and ancient mystic. A purifying, fire-breathing, flesh-eating demon whose warpath and wrath against the world and everything in it, by some twisted kink in our own psyche, became the path we willingly spiraled into in search of our own redemption, in the desperate hope of saving our mirrored reflection from the bottomless pit of love's eternal negation. Wow. Yeah.
If you went through chemo treatment and had a port placed, you need to hear this. I'm talking about an implanted Bard Power Port, the small device your doctor placed under your skin and used for chemo. Many patients rely
Some people aren't looking for connection, they're looking for a charger. I read this on Instagram and now we're gonna have to sit through it together. Connection is mutual. Two nervous systems regulating together. You leave feeling fuller. That's how it's supposed to work. Some people are not there for connection. They're there to plug in your energy, your attention, your regulation. They download everything they need, leaving you feeling empty, and then you wonder why you're exhausted after every interaction. That's how protection patterns work. You will keep giving because that's how you learned to earn your place. Your nervous system can be an infinite resource when it is reciprocal. The other problem is we don't notice we're being dreamed until we're completely dead, and then we internalize that as something like we didn't do enough of. I didn't take care of myself well enough. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I had to learn that if something is not giving me energy, it is taking it. Energy is always supposed to be reciprocal. If you're always the charger and never the phone, your system will eventually crash. And it's not burnout from doing too much. It's burnout from giving to people who only know how to take. Pay attention to how you feel after, not during. After. Connection fuels you. Charging drains you. Your body already knows the difference.
That's so cool. So this is Gardner Glass, guys. Go give him a follow, man. He makes these really cool whistles. To me, it just sounds like some space noises or something. Can you hit it one last time?
This is that fourth wall break that I think is the best one. Some people just miss it completely. It's zooming in on Dark Helmet, and he pushes on Colonel Sanders to get out of his pan shot. He looks at the camera and goes, "Oh my God, sorry, I'm in the wrong spot."
I totally missed that.
Grocery store the other day.
No, I did. I counted, but like I missed it.
He said that he had an axe for me in his car. So after a few moments of waiting in the deli section, he comes out with this beauty. That was a really nice gift. So I was walking up and down the aisles with this. We're gonna fix this up.
If you apply pressure to this point for 30 seconds, you will release the pressure in the eye area. If you do this for 30 seconds, you will hydrate and release the fascia. If you do this for 30 seconds and then move right to the start of the under eye circle for another 30 seconds, you will start the drainage processes in your eye. This is one of the easiest routines I have taught you that really gives results.
I really only have one piece of life-saving advice that's not the obvious stuff like work hard and always keep learning new things. And it can be summed up as don't give up your agency to get yourself out of trouble. Most, if not all, of the people watching this will have such a situation come up if it has not already. Now, if I didn't clarify, if you had to guess what I meant, you would probably think in terms of, say, a woman who marries a man who promises that he will take care of everything.
If you apply pressure to this point for 30 seconds, you will release the pressure in the eye area. If you do this for 30 seconds, you will hydrate and release the fascia. If you do this for 30 seconds and then move right to the start of the under eye circle for another 30 seconds, you will start the drainage processes in your eye. This is one of the easiest routines I have taught you that really gives results. Tell me if you are going to try it.
Because he has money. But then once they are married, she realizes that he doesn't respect her, that in fact he doesn't see her as an equal partner at all. He sees her as basically a child he is taking care of. That she took an opportunity for security and maybe to get herself out of a bad life situation, but in exchange gave up her agency. She gave up her ability to make decisions for herself in her life. But this also happens in a million subtle...
If you apply pressure to this point for 30 seconds, you will release the pressure in the eye area. If you do this for 30 seconds, you will hydrate and release the fascia. If you do this for 30 seconds and then move right to the start of the under eye circle for another 30 seconds, you will start the drainage processes. If you apply pressure to this point for 30 seconds, you will release the pressure in the eye area. If you do this for 30 seconds, you will hydrate and release the fascia. If you do this for 30 seconds and then move right to the start of the under eye circle for another 30 seconds, you will start the drainage processes in your eye. This is one of the easiest routines I have taught you that really gives results. Tell me if you are going to try it.
This also happens in a million subtle ways, and it scales up everywhere from individual relationships to how entire societies work. For example, at some point in a relationship or in a friendship, you are going to screw up very badly. You're either going to say something terrible, or you're going to do something awful, or you're just going to be neglectful. You will be asked to do something important, and you will fail to do it. And in that moment, a totally unspoken opportunity is going to present itself. Because what you could do is say, this is absolutely my fault. I made a bad decision. I should have paid more attention to what I was doing. I should have tried harder to control myself. All I can do is ask you to forgive me and say that I will absolutely make sure that this never happens again. Then the other person can decide whether or not to forgive you and how to move on. Or at the key point, when you feel all of the stress of everybody being mad at you, of all of this guilt weighing on you, you can take what feels like a get out of jail free card, where you say, what I did wasn't my fault. I said those awful things to you because of my traumatic background. It causes me to say things like this. I forgot to pick you up at the airport because of my ADHD. It's hard for me to remember appointments. Or I didn't do this thing that you said you desperately needed me to do because my anxiety was very bad that day. And you have put them in a situation where now they can't be mad at you, because that's like being mad at a person in a wheelchair for not climbing a long set of stairs. If you stay mad at me, you're the bad guy. It's basically discrimination. How can you be mad at somebody for something that wasn't their fault? And in the moment, you will feel like, yes, I've done it. People are not mad at me anymore. But then going forward, you'll notice some subtle changes. And it may start with something as simple as them not asking you to do things for them anymore. And in the short term, especially if you are very immature, you might think, yes, great, less stuff for me to have to do every day. When what has actually happened is they have reduced your role in the relationship. They have stopped seeing you as an equal partner. They have stopped seeing you as someone they can depend on. If the pattern continues, they may stop seeing you as a partner at all. They may just start seeing you as a burden, as like a child they're taking care of. And if they cut off that relationship a month or a year down the line, that will quietly be why. They may not say so, especially if they have bought into the idea that they're not allowed to complain about this because you say that none of it is your fault. But that will be the reason. What happened was you made a deal with the devil. You made a wish on the monkey's paw. You took the opportunity to get out of trouble, but traded in your agency. You announced to the world that you are not in control of your own actions. So even if they are the most kind-hearted, progressive people in the world, you logically have told them that when you promise to do something, not even you can guarantee that you'll actually do it, because you've said you are not in control. You have this disorder or this trauma or whatever it is you blamed it on. And when I say blamed it on, I'm saying you took a situation where you know you could have done it, but it would have caused you discomfort, or it would have caused you some sort of...
I don't know who he's trying to talk to.
Negative emotions. And then you...
Immature people, I guess.
Pick a number between 1 and 1,753.
33.
Wants tape number 34. These are all the tapes we've watched.
Oh, it was one off.
I'm going to update the maps very soon.
They saw earrings. They saw a little lipstick. They saw my kid. And what they chose to see was someone to hate.
I'm not an external processor, and I'm going to process something externally with you. I think I actually just right now realized what it means to like end generational, like not just trauma, but like cycles that you just do not want to repeat. Even if it's not traumatic to other people, it was traumatic to you. Like, I'm 32 years old, I've been so much better, but I think right this very minute I understand. So, okay, sounds bad. Well, not all sounds. Some so good I could roll around and I would live in them. I could leave my body and just exist solely in that sound, but only if it's good. If it's bad, or if it's too loud, or at the wrong time, if I'm feeling a lot of other things, I can't also hear that. That's too much. No one ever understood that when I was little. couldn't invade everyone around me, just hate being around me. So I internalized that as like, that's my problem. My tiny little brain and body was like, if I can't figure it out, I'm just gonna explode. And so I did. And then I got in trouble. And so I learned to not do that. And then I hated myself because of it. Because if I can't explode out loud, I'm gonna explode in loud. Internally. Then all of the feelings that you are left with in your brain kind of like get baked in, and then scar tissue emotionally just builds on top of it. Or suddenly you're 32 and you have a kid. And you're like, wow, I really am broken as a person because the sound of a lawnmower is like making me want to scream. But years of therapy, I've learned that's not a me problem. It's also not anybody else's problem. I will always be this way, and I need to solve it and figure out how to help myself. Sorry, I'm coming on a little bit intense. So now I have kids. Thank God I cloned myself because they're the coolest people I've ever met in my life, and they're also me. Again, and what do they dislike? Loud sounds. And a lot of them, no, I have no control over. Mom, if I could, trust me, they would not exist. But they do. So here we are. So because a lawnmower is going on in our backyard, it's sharp and it's kind of constant and just droning. They don't want to hear it. Yeah, neither do I. I've got my AirPods in. Instead of screaming at them because I'm like, it's just a lawnmower. It's not just a lawnmower. It's a sound that's really loud and feels bigger than their body and is going on for an amount of time. They have no idea how long it's going to go, and it feels out of their control. And so they're looking at me to help them understand what's going on. And I take that job very seriously. And I've got my AirPods in because that sound is too loud. And I'm not going to blow up at you. I'm not going to blow up at all because I know how you feel because I feel the same way. And I took the time to learn how I feel so that when you feel that way, I understand it. I'm not angry at it. And then angry at you because I don't understand it and I'm overwhelmed. And I think that's it, right? Like, it's not this like miraculous thing. It's like lightning is like striking you from the sky and you're just like, everything is healed now. I think it's just like not being angry at your kid because the sound is really loud that makes them sad and scared. That also makes you sad and scared. That's okay. All of that happening is okay because it makes
Got the Lobo warming up. Lobo vaporizer got clean. Got clean. Hit it. It's in. My hands over 300 degrees. I'm fine. I don't feel a thing. You want it. You got it. You want it. Baby, you got it. Just bust. Busted.
An authentic taste of Maine seafood today on